Well, hello. There was a ceremony that's open. I gave you a little uninterrupted epiphanias by royalty-free software. Epidemic sound. It's 3 hours of uninterrupted electronic tunes like you hear, and it's royalty-free. It allows people like me to play it in the background and not face legal challenges. So I'm going to turn that down just a little tiny bit so I can hear myself think. But this is pretty nice, you can hear that. Anyway, there we go. All right, now we're up to full fidelity. So it's been other than Trump being on the witness stand in a crazy trial, these lawyers, we got him. He overinflated the values of his assets in order to induce banks to make them loans, which of course Trump paid back. So there's no injured party. And they did a loan to value computation. Everybody gets their own appraisers, and yeah, they thought they had him. They didn't have squat. little, little sound effects that I can throw in there to just so you don't think I'm incapable. Well, in the news, what I do within the news, uh, if you guys are interested in what my little setup looks like, there it is. I have it. Oh, I have to work so you can see. Oh, as you're looking at it, you know. Let's see. I think I do this one. I do. Look at that. You can see it. There's I'm talking right through. There we go. See, now we got the so that's the microphone. So if you're wondering, I get right close to that and say, "Hello, how are you doing?" Of course, you can't do that too loud, or else you overmodulate the whole situation. Got this very good. We're broadcasting live from our studios in Boca Raton. My studio, my little 5 foot by 2.5 foot corner of life, where I can, you know, I have a little toddy here of soda water. I found an insulated mug. It's got an insert there where everything stays cold for 5 hours. I tested it with a little bit of ice cubes, and of course they don't melt. They're in a thermos. It's just the air that comes over the top and melts the ice from the top. But the sides completely stop. but the side's completely, not cold, but this is ice cold. Anyway, so that's my little corner of the world. That is the new circuit board. Notice two major processors, and you can see there's like a duplication of assets on either side of the middle line, so to speak. It's it's temperature cooled. It has fluid that flows over the whole circuit board, top and bottom, flying kind of sideways. That is a computer board that fits in the inside behind the glove, the screen inside a Model Y or a Model 3. It's for the Model S and the X. That board is uniform for all four cars. That's part of the 8 package, in case you were interested, which I'm sure none of you are. But what the heck? I was reading about it. I got to stay on top of stuff. So here's a little story. Like, there we go. The Volvo X30 is a small, affordable, excuse me, uh, electric SUV. It's a big deal because although Volvo, I think, next year is not making any more gasoline engines, period. So they're going all electric for everything. And why not? There's 40,000 places to fill up with electricity. And you don't have to sit in the plugged in for 2.5 hours because it's high power charging. And, by the time you go to the bathroom, go into the 7-Eleven and buy yourself a coffee and get back, you got 5 minutes to go and you got 200 miles put in your gas tank, your batteries, as it were. So that's important news. Other important news today, not not Israel, not the shooting at the Hezbollah and all that stuff. This is Toyota, and you know what? They just realized, oh my God, Tesla has these giant presses that are squeezing out, injection molded molten aluminum alloy. So you got one big piece, for the back end, and one big piece for the front end, and you got the battery in the middle. That's why they call it a structural battery, because those two components basically connect to this battery pack that's shaped like this. Whoops. I just lose something. Oh my God. Oh, this is a touchpad. I don't want to do that. Anyway, so the battery is, this kind of shape. It's thick. It's 4.5 feet by, uh, yeah, it's probably 7 feet long and 4 feet wide, and about that thick. And it's a container made of titanium, and the titanium is like 6 millimeters all the way around, which is a little more than a quarter inch. A quarter inch of titanium, that's like huge. The titanium is very strong, stronger than stainless steel, and 30% lighter. So that's the kind of, Anyway, so Toyota said, oh, I'm just a little guy in Boca Raton, and I kind of know that. Everybody knows that, right? There's probably at least nobody out there in Radio Land that knew that. But anyway, Toyota just figured it out, and they said, "Oh crap! Tesla has groundbreaking gigacasting." Yes, they do. It's big, and because of that, when they change models, they have the ability to make radical changes really fast because a Tesla used to have like 8,000 pieces. They count the pieces. You got a screw here and a screw there, and well, you add it all up, they got 8,000 pieces. Well, they don't have 8,000 pieces anymore. That whole back end thing eliminated like 280 pieces. The front end eliminated, another couple of hundred pieces. So you're down to like 3 or 4 thousand pieces instead of 8,000. Parts, screws, bolts, panels, that hardware board I just showed you, cameras, wiring harnesses, all that kind of stuff, steering wheel, you know, shift levers. Guess what? No shift levers with Michael Tesla. It's all on a touchscreen, and it's like my fancy. This is a unbelievably powerful computer that I got going here, and it does all of this broadcasting over the air and connects with my soundboard. And I showed you a picture of it, including the Coca-Cola, which had actually hot tea with a little bit of sugar and cream, like 20-ounce styrofoam container of hot tea, which I made, and shoved it in the empty Coke container. And you can see the bottom is rippling under the heat and the stress. As I was drinking cold drinks out of it all last night. Now I'm putting hot tea in it this morning, and it just got all frustrated and left me. So that's it. So anyway, I got a soundboard. I got this an old iPad. I got another old iPad up on the top here, which I run TV programs through it. So it's like a little TV, but it's really skinny. It's amazing. If you just have a little, ingenuity. And then behind here, which you really can't I mean, it's a river of 1,000 wires. You got all these wires and cables. One wire at a time, and then you got a lot of wires. Whoops. That fell off here. Oh, yeah, there it is. So that's Toyota. So you got Volvo is coming out with a brand new little mini, a combination of a small car and like a hatchback. So it's like a real junior SUV. But that's a big deal because they may be selling it for like $27,000, undercutting Tesla by 8 or 10,000 bucks. That's serious stuff. Other things in the news. Got this stupid people that drove by. This is like nighttime, but it was actually a daytime event. But these people would, with not a machine gun, but the semi-automatic, fast as you could pull the trigger, aiming it at all these kids on the playground. And it fired off 22 rounds and sped away. And it killed an 11-year-old boy, injured 4 other kids, 6 or 7 in the hospital. That's in Cincinnati. Wow, amazing. Dog. Who are the nicest dogs on the planet? Corky. That's a corky. I don't know what that is. Not too sure what that is either. Oh, look at those ears. These are little pups. They get big. I don't know what they are. They look expensive. Dogs are like $3,000-$4,000 a copy, which that's like, yeah, that's insane. Whoops, look at this one. Whoops, not that one. That's the same color as the carpet. That sucker closes his eyes and you won't be able to find him. Oh, God. We had 3 cats and now we have 2. One died. That was pretty sad when you go over and push on a cat and it's stiff. Oh, God. Meryl just asked me to fix up a picture. Can you doll this up? It already looks good. Wait a minute. All right. Yes, I will. I will doll it up. Already looks good. It will look better. I like it. This guy wants to refinance. He's got a $4 million house. He's got $1.2 million loan on it. He wants it refinanced. What? Arm. Should have done it 6 months ago. I told him 6 months ago, do it. Rates are going up. Here's a picture of our client. 4 boys, a girl, and a wife. You got Brennan, Daniel, Jack, and Hudson. Brennan, Daniel, Jack, Hudson, or Hudson Jack, in the counterclockwise. And Robin's the girl in the middle. And on the very right side. Table 42, that restaurant is now Farmhouse. Used to be table. Same owner, there's same big grill in the back. Menu, name, same lease. Right, this guy's doing better. Ron DeSantis. In recent polling, he is beating what do you call it, Biden in 4 of the 6 primary states, the early ones. So that's good. He's got 30% of his staff up there with all those early, Iowa and all that. He just got endorsed by Iowa's governor, and she's a lady, and she wasn't endorsing anybody. Well, guess what? Last night or this morning, I think it was last night, she put her hand up for DeSantis. And let me tell you, he was, went to Yale, went to Harvard Law School, graduated with honors in both places. He was, I'm going to make this up a little bit. I think he was captain of the baseball team at Yale. He went into the military for 15 years as a JAG officer, Judge Advocate General. And then came out, did practiced law for a little tiny bit, just long enough to make enough money to run for Congress. He won several congressional elections, and then he decided to run for governor. Right at the time that I think I think Trump was running for president, and then and Trump endorsed him, which which was important because he was like, mensa mensa on winning the gubernatorial election. But once he got Trump's endorsement, he started to really launch, in popularity. And then this last year, he he ran for another 4-year term of governor and won with like a 19 and a half point, majority. So that's like the biggest win in Florida history. And Florida's it's a big, complicated state. It's long. It's got the Panhandle. It's got Orlando. Panhandle, a bunch of rednecks. I mean, really dark red, nice people, but they're southern like crazy. Orlando is, a cosmopolitan of a lot of youth. You got, Disney, which is huge. They employ like 10,000 people, and a lot of them are very young. They're entertainers, they're singers, dancers, you know, engineers, all this stuff. They take care of their own uh, police. They take care of their own generation of power. They generate their own water. They take care of their own sewer. That's why they had a special taxing district because they do everything themselves. Now, they don't have a hospital, but they have ambulances and all that, and they have an infirmary, but they don't have a full hospital. Like, if you needed cardiac surgery, you'd have to go to the local hospital in Orlando to get that done, which is 17 miles away. I'm sure they get there fast with their sirens. Hey, I had quadruple bypass surgery, and I had a 40-minute drive to get to Delray Medical Center from Boca, because they got to Velcro you in. I mean, it was like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. It was, that was before the surgery. When the surgery was successful, thank God, I survived. I'd rather say, I survived quadruple bypass surgery instead of however else you would announce that. But yeah, 11 days in the hospital. That's, that was part of it was pretty delicate. So my cardiologist said, "You got, don't tell anybody, but you got about 50-50 go, be 55%. That's great." I said, "So that means 45% ain't so good." He said, "Yeah, that's a little better than a flip of a coin." I said, "Holy crap, that's pretty serious." He said, "Yeah." He said, "But we're going to get it done because I have a doctor up in Delray that'll do exactly what I want them to do." The doctors in Boca wouldn't do it. I said, "No, we've got to do it this way." My cardiologist comes to me and he said, "If you do it that way, you won't survive the operation. The operation will be a success, but the patient dies." I said, "Well, what's plan B? We don't want to do that." I mean, I didn't go to medical school. I was a pre-med student. I almost went to medical school, but I got talked out of it by a very attractive girlfriend. Not one of my better decisions, but what are you going to do? When you're young and stupid, you do young and stupid things. So that's why I'm not a thoracic surgeon today, or whatever. I would not be a colonoscopy person. I can't imagine doing that all day. Get out of here. You're dealing with hoses in the wrong end. And, whew. At about 70 years old, Stanley Wiener and I had a talk about the colonoscopy. And he says, I cheat, I keep, he puts his finger up your butt as far as he possibly can. And then he pulls it out, he got a rubber glove on. And then he sprays luminol on it. which is something that lights up for every corpuscle of blood, every cell of blood that might be on his finger, on his glove, because he rubs around in the, in your large intestine, uh, which of course is nothing there because you've previously gone to the bathroom, at home. And, when he sprays that luminol on there, if there's any glowing, in a ultraviolet light, if there's any glowing, you have, minor bleeding, in your intestinal tract. Uh, None. It was none. Every 6 months, none. Jimmy, you're good. And while he's doing that, he's rubbing the walls of my prostate. And if it gets a little bumpy, it could be cancerous. But if it's nice and smooth, like it's supposed to be, and he can feel around 40% of the surface, he says, "You're good. You don't have any problem with your prostate." I said, "No, I pee just fine." Anyway, it's my private stories of why I don't want to be a colonoscopist. No, I work on the other end or in the middle. And, when you go to medical school, you run around with all these residents, these doctors, and of course you gotta learn a lot of stuff. Uh, you have to learn how to pronounce all the big words, and that's one thing I learned in biochemistry. If I can't pronounce the word, I can't spell it, and I won't remember it. So I spent a lot of time figuring out how to pronounce these words. Like this meds that Marilyn and I both take. It's called hydrochlorothiazide. Oh, just imagine that word. It's about this big. Hydrochlorothiazide. It's like 26 letters, a lot of Z's and things. But that's it. I've learned how to pronounce all the words, all the big words. Making silly of it right now, but you got to do that. Or at least I have to do that, or else I can't remember what the heck I'm talking about. And you have to learn this stuff. I'm patient through all these words. Yeah, here's a house. You get all these the new house speaker. He's got a MAGA uh, button on, and there's Trump, of course. I lent a hand. I don't know what. And he points to. We don't know how he lent a hand. There was a story about how Trump behind the scenes helped him over the hump with some of these people that needed, needed to vote in his favor. Speaker of the House is a big deal. That's third in line to the presidency. There's Jimmy in Maryland. Just when you turn your phone sideways, there you go. You get a clock. Now this is calendar, and that's things to do tomorrow. Battery's 100%. There's a calendar. Well, after a while, that switches to photos for some reason. So I did a print screen to capture that at 6 minutes after 3 on Thursday. Yesterday, I guess. There's Musk's Mars part of the spacecraft, which is huge. And he enhanced it so he's got solar panels that flop out the side. or roll up. Those they can be flexible. They don't have to be hard panels. And over in here in that corner is the Earth. This is, or that's the moon probably. The Earth below. Okay. Canon just came out with a new lens. It's pretty exciting. Uh, what do you call it? A constant aperture zoom. It's a wide angle zoom. So usually, when you go from 28 to 105, it's constant aperture at 4. F4. This is constant aperture at f2.8. So that's a real. They just announced that the end of last week, beginning of the November 1. So that's kind of like important. Why do cats sit on your lap? Pictures of cats. So this is kind of good news for Trump. The judge, this lady, judge, Adam, who's running the federal case regarding Trump's dealing with the records that were at Mar-a-Lago. Some of them, were possibly classified, whatever. But remember, the president can declassify. And remember, the Constitution says the president can take with him whatever he wants. And it was the federal case that went to the Supreme Court, and they ruled in favor of William Jefferson Clinton because he had all the audio tapes from all his conference calls. He had them all lined up in his sock drawer, in a big chest. Pull out the drawer, and you got all these tapes, in cartridges, time and date stamps, very well organized. And the feds went in there and said, aha, these are all classified conversations. We're going to prosecute you for, mishandling of private documents that should have gone to the archive. Yeah. It went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said, when he leaves the White House, anything that he can get his hands on, because he was the most senior, the highest clearanced person in the entire U.S. government, military and otherwise, and if he had it and he saw it, then it can go with him if he wants it. And he can declassify everything. So he had boxes, Do you think he packed his boxes? He was playing golf, in Ireland or something, or he owns a golf course in Ireland. Beautiful. And, so he's playing golf in Ireland, and the GSA, the Government Services Administration, they're packing up the White House. So everything's in a box. You got a ham sandwich sitting on a thing, it gets packed. That happened to me when I was moving from Tampa to here. I had a ham sandwich, everything was packed, refrigerator's packed, everything else. So I got a ham sandwich. I put it on the box, and lo and behold, it ended up packed. I was looking at my box somewhere. I got it 3 days later in Boca Raton, and it was a little stiff. Oh, see, there you go. I got, and you can see it. I got pictures. It happens to be the president's son with the lady that used to be on the 5. Attractive. Anyway, Judge signaled she could delay key dates in the Trump classification documents trial, which is a big, it's a big hole. They showed up, 26 people with machine guns. Give me a break. They're worried about stuff getting stolen from Mar-a-Lago. Remember, he was a former president. So that place had like a detail of 5 Secret Service people at all times, patrolling every square inch of Mar-a-Lago. Uh, that's stronger than any bank vault, in the state of Florida. Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, you need to put another lock on that door. Yeah, what? Keep the Secret Service out and have the clearance to do whatever. It's disgusting. When political parties use the federal government as a weapon against your political, that's what's going on here. The Biden administration, through the Department of Justice, is trying to break Trump. Well, guess what? You can't break Trump. He is a one tough critter, and breaking him is something that probably isn't capable of happening. That's it. Can't do it. I haven't gotten close. His lawyer, his female lawyer, is a tough cookie. She put on a little press briefing, at the noontime when the trial broke up, for lunch break or something. And she let them have it. You can silence Trump, but you can't silence his attorney. So, wasn't exactly giving up secrets what was said. A trial like that should be televised because you can't get enough people in the courtroom, and we're entitled to know how that proceeds. No, I mean, you've got state or federal judges, you've got lawyers, you've got the witnesses, and it should be televised because we have the right to know. Now we can get in the courthouse if you can possibly get there, fly there, whatever, and get through layers and layers of Secret Service and all that crap to be allowed to go. I mean, it's just not fair. We should be able to um, see it and hear it. Now, when it is on television, you run the risk of lawyers, exacerbating to the point of their own verbosity, too much, too long, play acting to the cameras. So your popularity vote goes up. Because some of these officials are elected officials, like in this case with Trump in New York City. Um, the judge is elected, and he's a conservative Democrat, and the prosecutor is an elected official, and just found out that Soros has financed both their campaigns. Because you run for office, you have to run a campaign. Well, that's serious business. When the adversary here, Trump, is a conservative Republican, and the judge and the district attorney are both conservative Democrats, and finance the Biden campaign and their own campaign with multi-billionaire Soros's money. So why do you think this is happening? Well, that's what I started with. The weaponization of government agencies is not a good thing, because if someone else gets in office, you're gonna, and Biden's got all this stuff with money from China, and Biden, his son Hunter, doing all these things, acting as a foreign agent and not being registered as a foreign agent. You go to jail for that. There's a number of Trump's friends are in jail today because they did things that they shouldn't have done according to all the laws we got, and knowing how deep and how far you can go unless you're going to China as a complete tourist. But if you go there trying to do business, you better register yourself as a foreign agent or Foreign Agents Act. Because if you talk any politics, whatever, they finance, something that you're doing, and you're a relative of, a president or a vice president or something, you get yourself in some serious trouble and be in jail. Manafort, he's in jail right now. I think he's dying. But it ruined the last 8 years of his life. Because he was an ally of Trump back in, 2014, 15, 16. Well, right after Trump got out of office, they started hammering on all his friends and contributors, or whoever they get their hands on. And some of these laws were broken because you just can't know all the laws about everything. Hillary knows them all. Just smash the computer. Bleach pit. Never heard of bleach pit until I'm a technology guy, and I never heard of bleach pit until Hillary, because that's what some record-keeping specialist scoured their hard drives with a software called Bleach Pit. Bleach, in clothing. Bleach Pit, BIT. So apparently it goes through the whole hard drive bit by bit and eliminates all the data. 33,000 emails. Oh yeah, no, there were emails regarding my wedding. Yeah, 33,000 emails regarding your wedding. What are you kidding? Or your daughter's wedding? I don't think so. And with the guy, made a copy of the hard drive. That's another thing. Hunter's hard drive. The FBI's had it for 5 years. They haven't even looked at it. And it's got all this stuff. Well, the computer guy that turned it over made copies in case that computer got lost. He made copies and put them in a vault. He didn't look at them. He just made full copies. All right. I've chatted on here 45 minutes and 3 seconds. I think it's time to say good night. It's 10 minutes to 7. I want to get the TV going. Go back to the 5. Start from scratch and watch it. And I'll dig up some interesting things for my broadcast tomorrow. I get everything kind of set up here so I can actually, behave properly. Like I know what I'm doing. So now I'm going to put that up to that. I'm going to plug this in here. There we go. Look how nice that sounds. It's direct electronic connection into the soundboard over here, which you can't see unless you were looking at my picture I took down here. Wow. Ooh. There you go. That shows the whole shooting match right there. Yep. Live TV. This thing over here. Yeah. With the November 6th on it. I got a better shot than that. There we go, because now I got the I'm a Bed showing. And the Coke. All right, so I'm going to tune off, put the music on, give you about 60 seconds of epic. And I'll be quiet. See you tomorrow. Good night.